What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today, well, yes, we're going to talk about what is in that thumbnail that I've got all blurred out. But if you guys caught my last upload on the Yukon where we put the taillights in it, if you guys watched to the very end, I put something in saying more to come on why we didn't have any night shots. And if you guys make it to the end, if you don't fall asleep, some of those videos can get boring, I'm sure, guys. But either way, if you did watch to the end and see that, I kind of want to explain what's going on. Why did I say that? And ultimately, guys, it just comes down to, and I've said this, I've posted in the community section, I hated that color. So I sold it. The MBS Yukon is gone. And I know that's going to be a little disheartening to all the MBS fans, but guys, we got stuff going on with the truck here. I'm not even going to show you what's pulled apart on the floor over here because I've got some videos I've been working on that you're going to be seeing very soon. But either way, we're still doing MBS stuff, but the Yukon's gone. And ultimately, guys, it really came down to color. And it's funny because the guy who bought it, he's like, why are you even getting rid of it? And I said, I hate the color. It really boiled down to I hated the color. It was that big a deal to me. I didn't want to paint it, guys. I generally don't keep my daily drivers forever. To spend the $7,000-8,000 to change the color on that was not worth it. You're still going to have under the hood, you would have had to pull the engine out. It just wasn't worth it, to be honest with you. So I thought about selling it. I had a couple people interested in a buddy of mine who's got one for sale, and actually one of those people bought it. The guy who bought my FRC, the white FRC that we had on the channel a while back, he's got one of them too, and he listed it for sale. And so I listed mine for sale as well. And one of the guys that looked at his actually bought mine. So it is gone. And like I said, I know it's a bummer for some of you guys. I still have a lot of stuff for it here. So what's the plan with this stuff now? Well, I think what we're going to do is my son has been talking about dropping his lawn mowing truck. And so we may use some of it. Now, look, not all of it works. I bought new lower control arms. Those won't work. I bought drop keys. Obviously, those won't work, but some of the stuff will. So like the bump stops, the upper A-arms, the drop spindles, all that stuff's interchangeable. I even believe that the sway bar end links that I bought, but we'll figure out something. And you guys know how I am. I may have another one of those in a couple weeks. You never know about me. But anyway, I don't think it'll be the last time I drop an SUV. I don't think so. But anyway, let's talk about what we've got outside and why I ultimately chose to buy this thing. Because if you guys are GM fans, which I think a lot of you are if you watch this channel, I think you're gonna like it. Some people may not. I'm gonna daily drive it for now. It does need a few little things. I have no plans on pulling it apart, especially now you may see some fixes from here and there, but like I've got my son's car in here. We need to tear apart and do. Obviously the Trans Am needs to be messed with. I want to do some stuff to get this parts truck out of here. So anyway, let's go out and take a look at it, talk about what it is. Pretty obvious, guys. From the looks of it, or at least if you guys are familiar with the F-body platform, it is a Formula. Now, why would you buy this? You've got your son's Camaro, you've got the Trans Am, you've had several of these. You just sold a convertible Trans Am. Why would you buy another? Well, I don't know. I just think I like these cars. I've always liked them, just like I like the MBS trucks and the MBS Yukon, and for the same reason I like anything else. So why do I do anything I do? I don't know. But guys, this thing's been for sale for a little bit, and it just caught my eye for a couple reasons. One, I have always been a fan of the ram air hood on a Formula. The Formula is kind of like the ugly cousin to the Trans Am. A lot of people didn't like them because they didn't have the big spoiler, they didn't have the ground effects, they had a different front bumper, but you could not get an LS Trans Am, so an LS1 Trans Am, so your 98 up Trans Am and a hardtop. And I've always been a fan of the hardtops. I've had several B4C Camaros, which are all hardtop cars, and I've just always liked that look. I thought it looked kind of cool. And so this one popped up. It looked really clean. And I thought, well, if something sells, then I may entertain buying it. Well, obviously the Yukon sold, and I bought this actually the day before I'm filming this video. So it was about 8 hours from my house. I asked the guy, I said, is it reliable? You know, can I drive it 8 hours home? And he said, yeah, absolutely. I would see no reason why not. The guy was super honest. Look, guys, sometimes you deal with chuckleheads that aren't honest. You get there and something's misrepresented, and you know, 8 hour drive, it was actually 7.5, but that's a long way to go to find somebody who's not being honest. So it was refreshing, and I've done that. As a matter of fact, we've done that recently, but this guy was awesome. Absolutely exactly what he said. We drove, so I took my son, my oldest son with me, just me and him. We drove the Yukon up, the green Yukon, the newer Yukon up. We picked this thing up. It was pouring rain. He's like, man, this thing's not been rained on in probably 7 years, or at least the 7 years that I've owned it. It was pouring rain. We had to drive it home in the rain. My son drove this car home 7.5 hours. We had no issues whatsoever. So that says something right there. But look, a few things that I noticed today. I drove the thing to work today, and like I said, it's going to be my daily driver for a while. And but I drove it to work and I noticed a couple things, and we'll talk about that. But first, before we do, let's talk about what it actually is. It is a 1999 Firebird Formula, I guess. So it does have the LS engine in it, LS1. Like I said, it's not like the Trans Am, because the Trans Am has a different front bumper. It has the fog light holes in the center. This one's a hardtop. Like I said, that they did make formulas with T-tops, but this one's a little more rare of an option. It is a cloth interior. A lot of these got cloth interior, and it is in really, really good shape, guys. It's kind of amazing. No cracks. It's got a little bit of a crack starting here on the door panel, which is very common in these cars, but the stock radio, the carpet's in awesome shape. It has the original floor mats. It's got 120,000 miles. It is an automatic, but I just dig the look of these cars. And I'm sure some people are wondering, like, okay, so is there anything done to it? You know, is it modded in any way? There are a couple things. I mean, I think the most obvious when you look at this car is it does have a set of aftermarket wheels, which, you know, I like them. I don't love them. Would it be my preference? No. I mean, if I were buying wheels, I probably wouldn't buy those, but they are 19-inch stern wheels. And if you guys, this thing, there were several pictures back in the day on LS1 Tech of this car that really looked nice when it was first lowered and these wheels put on it. But other than that, it does have Coney adjustable shocks on it all the way around. I think it was Coney, I don't remember. Eibach lowering springs, so it is setting a little lower. The previous owner put headers on it, so it has a set of long tube Speed Engineering headers. It's got a Texas Speed off-road Y pipe. It has loudmouth exhaust from SLP, and then what they call bullet mouth, where they put a bullet muffler in line, because this is pretty raspy. I know one question I'm going to get here, guys, is it an original WS6 car? It is not. The guy who actually put this car together originally put a factory WS6 hood on it, so that hood is factory, from the factory. It's not a factory WS6 car. That would make it even more rare, but it does have a GM hood on it, and then on the back he put the badge on, WS6 badge. But no, guys, it is not an original WS6. But either way, I think it's cool. A couple things that popped up today, though, while I was driving it. You know, we drove it 7.5 hours home without any issues, but of course my son would have never noticed. He was like, he was making the comment on the way home, maybe I messed up, I should have bought an automatic. I think he's just impatient, kind of like I am. So he, you know, he wants his car done, and this one's finished and he can drive it right now. So I think that was part of it. But he you know, he wouldn't have noticed that the wheel fell off. I don't think. He was just so happy to be driving it, something that had some power. But so today I'm driving it. It got a little warm today. It's a little warm right now. It's probably 85 degrees. I go to flip the air on. The air's not working. Now look, guys, I don't think this guy drove this car a ton. Pretty common for that stuff. The seals dry out when you're not using it. I think it just needs a shot of Freon. I really don't think it's a big deal. It does pull a little bit to the right. Don't know if it needs a set of tie rods, or I haven't checked the tire pressure. The tire doesn't seem low, but I don't know if that's, it could be something suspension related. It could even be the brakes starting to drag. I noticed the brakes look like they have some age on them. Somebody did replace the brakes, I'm guessing, because the backs are painted white. I think that's white. And the fronts are silver. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But I'm assuming maybe they've been replaced. So maybe I've got a brake dragging. It doesn't seem like it. I don't hear it or anything. But other than those two things, I started it up at work to come home and the low oil light was on, which I don't know if you guys are like me, but that's an immediate freak out point, right? So you shut it off and you're like, okay, so it's out of oil. I don't want to blow it up. You know, I don't want to blow this thing up. I just got it. And I sure don't want to pull anything else apart because we got enough of that going on. But I checked the oil. It was maybe, you know, it was still registering above add, between add and full. And so I did put some more oil in it and the light's still on. So my guess is there's a little sensor in the side of the oil pan that I'm assuming is stuck. But I don't know what else it could be. It could be the sending unit, I guess. There is a wiring harness. It's, you know, it's low to the ground. Maybe it drug and caught or something. It's pretty close to the ground because it's by the starter. Maybe it melted. I don't know. There could be a lot of things going on, but I haven't even lifted this thing up. I just made sure it had oil, drove it home with the light on. No issues there. Aside from that, I noticed this was a little loose around the radio, and I think that somebody may have had a different radio in this at some point. I don't think this, as a matter of fact, let's just pull this off and see. It could just be a clip broken, and I think I actually have another one of these. These just pop off. Okay, that's the problem. It's got a, it doesn't have a screw in it. Okay, these are not the factory screws, so I'm assuming at some point somebody put a radio in and they just didn't have the factory screw to put back in or something. I don't know. That's why that's not fitting. None of the clips are broke. So anyway, you know, we've got a few little things, but look at this interior, guys. Look at the dash pad. Look at the seats. Look at the factory floor mats. Look at the carpet. I mean, it's dusty and dirty, but no stains, no ripping, no anything. It's absolutely a nice car. And all right, so I'm gonna let you guys hear it. I don't know how great the camera will pick it up, but let's start this thing up. If I can get the key in it. Typical loudmouth LS1 sound, you know, kind of raspy. Not terrible though. There's not a lot of drone when you're driving down the highway. It's not like annoying to drive. I'll rev it up a little bit. It is warm right now. I bet that oil light's still on. Oh, look, it's off. The oil light's off. So maybe it freed up on the drive home. Let's give it a couple revs here. There's that tractor sound. So am I a huge fan of the loudmouth? No, guys. I've had cars with loudmouth exhaust on them in the past, and not my favorite exhaust for an LS car, especially with long tubes. It gets really raspy then, but all in all, I'm pretty happy. So like I said, I know that the guys that are F-body guys on this channel are going to be excited about this, or at least I think you would be. For the people that are MBS Yukon fans, obviously you're pretty disappointed, but look, if it makes sense, I got what I wanted out of the Yukon. I was actually kind of surprised at the price that I got for it. I'm happy with that. I didn't really make any money. It was about a break even with the parts that I had put on it so far. But I definitely like this, and you know, once the AC's fixed, I think it'll make a good little daily driver. Now, I'm looking at something else that you guys may dig. I'm talking cheap daily driver that I might buy, but I'm not gonna spoil that because I don't know if that deal's gonna go through or not. But either way, and I'm saying cheap, like less than $1,500. So anyway, if you guys do enjoy this new car, if you think it's gonna be cool, one of the things I do think, I know I said I wasn't gonna mod this thing, but a couple things that I need to fix. Obviously that oil deal is jacked up. We need to get the AC working, but it doesn't have keyless. This car didn't come with keyless, so I'm going to attempt to put keyless on this car, and I'm going to walk you guys through that process. So if you got one of these, a Camaro Firebird Trans Am that doesn't have keyless entry for some reason, this car actually didn't come with it. It's not that the key fobs are missing, it just straight up didn't come with it. So I may do a video on that. But if you guys are liking this car, if you dig this car, if you dig F-body content, for all my F-body guys out there, make sure and go down there and hit the thumbs up. And of course, guys, if you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. While you're down there doing that, ring the bell icon. That notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.